Sorry, we're probably a bit out of order there, but I have Para above the Tigers. I've got
Yep.
Para. They'll be optimistic, but it's a case of putting together a decent team in a season where they're sort of a bit of a victim of the squeeze. I just don't think they have the cattle up front to do any real damage. They're on they've got a tough start to the season again. They go to Melbourne and Brisbane at the start of the season. Every year it feels like they play 3 or 4 really tough games at the start of the season, and at the moment when they're not as strong, it's not a good way to start the season.
Their depth is probably the question in that middle, as you say, but I think they've got enough there to be, as I said, obviously I'm pretty high on them, as we'll get to when we start talking about some of the individual awards, and the fact that I've got them sort of floating on that edge of the top 4, that maybe not knocking anyone off their seat. But again, there's always a side that just pops up, and that's Parramatta for me this year. But again, I can also see that, a couple of early injuries in the middles, like if Junior Paulo or Jermaine Hopgood gets injured in the first 6 rounds, like you may as well just, they may as well all go off to Bali in May.
It's one of those ones where if it works out well, they can make a push, but if it doesn't, it can all fall apart quite quickly, especially when one of their playmakers isn't even going to be there next year. We could have a whole podcast about the player movement system in the NRL. And
I was going to say, so at the moment, I've got you. You've got the Warriors 10th, the Knights 11th, the Eels 12th, the Tigers 13th,